question. Dost thou fear God? Simple question, no tricks. Dost thou fear God? Yes. Of course. Yes. As any good Christian should. Further, dost thou fear man? Dost thou fear man? Yes. A mixed response. I'm not surprised. It is the philosophical response, the one of division, the one of discussion, the one of debate. But let me posit to ye that if indeed God commands the will of man, yes, if God commands the will of man, yet man is the only creature to defy that will, to directly defy that will, then who should we fear more, God or the man? Behold the man. Fear God, fear man. Thus ye listen good. Fear thyself. Knowledge is the sin, and this is what we do. Many see alchemy as a defiance of our Lord. Many see it as God defying, fighting against the will and command of our Lord to create our own, to become gods. That is how some view it. Some view alchemy as esoteric, occult, witchcraft. A warm audience, of course, but it is understandable. However, I put it to you that alchemy is not a defiance of the Lord, but a celebration. We do not defy God, we celebrate His creation. Yes? Why? Why? What do I mean? Why is alchemy not the act of creation? Precisely. For it is the act of transmutation. Therefore not an act of creation, but an act of augmentation. The result of alchemy is never more than the sum of its parts. Yes, transmutation. You get out what you put in. Yes, yes. As with toil, students, have you toiled in the fields? Have you laboured for days, grafted in vain? Have you felt the sweat on your back? I'm sure some of you have. I'm sure some of you haven't. That's fine. But imagine this. Sweat is the product of toil, and virtue is the reward. You toil, you sweat. That cost is compensated and remunerated through virtue. The labour itself and the result is a net result, independent. So what do we have? We have three things: sweat, toil, virtue. And they are all in equal part. Because we do not create. Only God creates. We change. We augment. We advance. We improve. We think. We do. All sorts of things. But alchemy is not an affront on the Lord. Otherwise the Queen would not allow me to do this. So if any of you had preconceptions or carried that notion in your head, dispel it as you would a spell. I jest. There are no witches here, I trust. Good. Alchemy is a science. Calculated. Quantity counts, but quality matters. Quantity first, quality second. Do you understand? Yet here I am. I get ahead of myself. Alchemy. Alchemy. We will examine more advanced techniques. But to begin with, we will cover the basics. Yes? Any questions? Good, good. The basics being the bases. There are 4 primary bases that we deal with. Aqua, water. Spiritus, sin, which is spirits. Vinum, which is wine. Oil. And there is, arguably, a 5th base, but we'll talk about that later. Alchemy is elemental. As mortals, we work with the tools that we are given, and as such, we create remedies for the maladies that we face. When you are an alchemist, and this is no secret, you will imbibe and consume shit. Yes, laugh it out because you'll be doing it. You will consume things you never thought that you would consume. Bile, lard, blood, meat, worms, maggots, Yes, not particularly nice. But thus is the curse of the scientific mind. We must test to conclude. Yes? As such, one of the first potions that I would like to teach you is very simple and very relieving. Alright? It's to help with digestion. You will see quite quickly that most alchemic brews follow a fairly standardized path. Alright? It's very easy to do once you know how to do it, but do not forget the toil. The toil that your predecessors went through in order to calculate, test, and conclude. Imagine, if you will, a poor alchemist 100 years ago trying to create a potion to help with what we will be talking about today, digestion, and eating all manner of creature, flora, fauna, everything to find out what works. When you are an alchemist, you are not qualified by the sum of your years. You are qualified by hundreds of years of expertise from your predecessors. Knowledge shared. And you must impress this upon clients because they won't want to pay. It's as simple as that. No one wants to pay for anything nowadays. I'll be surprised if half of you pay for this course. Alright, so a simple concoction to aid with digestion. That's on the menu today. I won't go into details about how we as alchemists came to these conclusions. The results speak for themselves. You will also note that many of the reagents and herbs that I'm using today are pre-ground, but it's always a good idea to give them a second grinding to ensure that they're as smooth as possible and they dissolve and mix with our base. So, without further ado, the base for the digestion potion is spirits. You'll have a lot of bottles in your life as an alchemist. Try to keep them labelled. Might surprise you, but I don't read very well, so I colour code mine, or I use casings like this, alright? Here. Spirits. Spiritus sanctum est. Sin. Not animus, which is, that's right, the soul. This is simply, I believe, fermented potato. So, take off the cork, find your receptacle, your cauldron, what have you. We try to shy away from the word cauldron. It has connotations, as William has been spreading, but yeah, just a bit. That's enough. We call it the base because obviously it forms the liquid element of the potion, but also because it's a base element, essentially. Spirits represent the air. Alright, so we need some chamomile. I believe I have some here. Yes. Chamomile. Alright. Not ground particularly well. We'll use the little one for this. So, pop the herb in here. Take the mortar and pestle and grind. You're paying attention? Good. It can be messy. Alright, that'll do for the chamomile. So, actually that's quite enough, so just pop that in, put that to one side, and now the next ingredient is some mint. Now this doesn't necessarily have to be ground, right? Take out the cork, and what do we do if something is corked? That's right. We throw it away. Now, timing is important. It doesn't have to be exact, but it does have to be precise. Remember, quantity first, quality second. Alright? So, we want to get our concoction up to a rolling boil, alright? There we go. Leave the bellows and turn the timer. One turn. Pay attention to it. You'll eventually learn this by heart, and you might not even need the timer. It becomes second nature. It honestly does. There we have it. Timer's done. But wait, the mixture is still hot. We wear gloves so that we can handle spiky, vicious things, but also it helps with the heat, alright? We don't want to burn ourselves, we certainly don't want to ruin the potion either. So let that cool, and then when we're ready, we take our tincture bottle, or our potion bottle, and I think, yes, take our potion, and pour. Perfect. Now, it's always a good idea to help expedite the mixing. Oops. Give a little shake like that. And this little bottle has a tonic in it that will help aid your digestion should you attempt to digest something you probably shouldn't. Alright? It doesn't matter if there's a little bit left over and you're mixing it with other things. Usually it becomes inert after creation and therefore won't interact with other potions. Yes? Good. Next. Don't worry, we'll get to the interesting stuff after this one. Alright? This time we're going to look at another potion that will help you as you come along. This one is because, as an alchemist, you will find yourself up late at night, working non-stop. Let's say you've got a royal order of, I don't know, 24 concoctions in order to help sate 1,200 hangovers, something like that. But you'll also get your own hangovers, and you'll also get upset and develop headaches. So this potion is designed to help you with that. So, the first thing to do, what do we always do first? No, we don't wait. That's right. We take our base. And for this one, it's very simple. Aqua, water. Pour a bit in the cauldron. That's possibly a bit too much. Put that there. Now for this one, we have to use lavender, sage, and rue. All readily available herbs, but we have to grind them together. So let's get the rue first. Here it is. Pour it in. Pour in the rue. Alright, so we have the rue. What other ingredients did I say? Excuse me. Yes, lavender. We have some here. Pour that in. And remember, if it's corked, we throw it away. Yes, sage. Well done. We have some here. A little bit more. Alright. And we grind that up. One of the good things about this potion is that it actually tastes alright. Pop that in. Alright. Put that there. Now, we need to boil for 1 turn. So we get our bellows again. As firmly as you like. Get that up to a rolling boil. Yes. Control the fire. Don't let the fire control you. Alright, and 1 turn. Ready? And we wait. Perhaps while we wait, you sample some of the vinous and then accidentally end up drinking the oil. It happens to the best of us, don't worry. Alchemy is making mistakes 9 times out of 10 and then getting lucky 2 times. That's right. And then we're done. As usual. Take our tincture bottle. It's a little hot, but you get immune to the heat. And pour. Oops. Again. Don't worry about a bit of spillage. And then we shake it up. And here you have it. A potion potion designed to help you with the most vicious of headaches or hangovers. Alright. Now, don't think that I don't know why ye are here. Do not take me for a fool. The etching explained, and I stand by it. I will teach you the secret of the philosopher's stone. Is it real? Is the philosopher's stone real? What is the philosopher's stone? Some think it a tablet or a grimoire detailing how to create potions that elongate life, or simply turn mercury into gold, base metals, vitriol. Others know it as a vitriol in itself, a stone, a mineral that, when used appropriately, can elongate life or turn base metals into gold, lead, or mercury. What I believe and what I've discovered is that it is, in fact, a base. That secretive fifth base I mentioned earlier. We just haven't utilized it for a variety of reasons. But do you believe in the philosopher's stone? Yes or no? It doesn't matter. Do you fear God? Do you fear man? You should fear yourself, for within you, at this moment, is the philosopher's stone. But it is Kabbalism. It is blood magic, because it is sanguis. The philosopher's stone is blood. I know. Doesn't sound real, does it? But it is specifically human blood, the children of God. Animal blood won't work, or if it does, it pales in comparison. And thus, it is a sin. Further to the point, and perhaps a little trick from our Lord in order to keep us in line, but one's own blood will not work on oneself, i.e. you can't make potions from your own blood and expect results. No, quite the contrary. Similarly, blood given in exchange or for usury, or blood simply given to another person of free will not work either. The philosopher's stone, the riddle in of itself, a base, a mineral, must be taken from those unwilling. As such, I have not yet proven the efficacy. I have not tested to conclude, but I am confident that this is the way. To elongate your life, all 5 elements must be used. The elixir of life, vitae, water, spirits. Why? Oil. And the fifth element, the fifth base, vita, blood taken from the unwilling, a sacrifice, hence its heresy. Is this blood taken in such a fashion? Who knows? Who knows? Pour it in. And then we need a mineral. The most expensive mineral of them all. Gold dust. I know. It's expensive, this immortality. I've never been commissioned to make this potion. No one has been brave enough to pay me. Oil. Two times. Do you fear God, students of alchemy? Do you fear man? Do you fear yourself? You should. For what we are capable of. It does get hot. Or is that just the gates of hell? There we go. Dare I touch it so hot? Will I be burned by the fire? Oh, it is hot. Of precious quantity, of heretical origin, I give you, student, the elixir of life. All of the ingredients I used were fake. What a cheat. It is illegal to perform such a concoction as that, to create it Whether it works or not, we'll never know. For if you fear God, you should not perform it. Yet greater fear still should be that of man, and the knowledge that perhaps one has. Thank you for your time and patience, class. You have been most attentive. I thank thee for thy time. And, merry met, take care, and God bless.